Hello again. This is testing for the text conversion page. So let me load my program. Let's start this up and I'll log in. I'll log into an account so I can open the text conversion page. Okay, this is just me logging in so I can have the text conversion page up. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so let's start off. Can the user input text into the input box? There it is. Yes, they can. Input actual text. So let's do I am happy. Okay. Now if I try to modify, let's do level 5, it works. Input symbols, so we'll copy and paste this. This is just symbols and numbers, there's not actual text. It should give me an error when I try to modify. You must input a valid text with the words. That works. Presence check, don't input anything, so that's empty. If you try to modify, you must input a text first. It works. Input spaces, so this is just spaces. Try to modify it, you must input text first. And this is press the enter key on the keyboard. So this is just, this is the enter key, spaces, enter key. If I try to modify that, it still tells me I must input a text first. Let's close this. So that works. Remove leading and trailing spaces. So if I do, let's do I am sad and change it to level 4. Oh, right, leading and trailing spaces. So if I do, let's do I am happy now, because so you can clearly see the change in here. So let's do spaces there, and I modify it. There's no spaces there, and there's no spaces after it. So that space is for the next word to come up, because there's a space, and then the next word in the sentence will come up. So that's just why the space is there. But obviously here there's like 5 different spaces. Anyways, it works. This is all validated, so I can take this off. Does the input box show placeholder text? Well, there you go, there's a placeholder text. I can take this off. Does the placeholder text get overwritten when the user starts typing? I click on here and start typing, it gets overwritten. So the placeholder text is gone. Does the drop-down box give different difficulties to convert to when pressed? So this is the modify button. I press it. There's the drop-down box. I can select different difficulties, so I can take this off. Does the modify button output the converted text? So let's do I am sad, and I do this. It does output the modify text when I select the difficulty, so I can take that off. Does the drop-down box close after the user selects the difficulty? So let's do this. Select the difficulty. The drop-down box closed. There we go. Does the drop-down box close if the user clicks it and then doesn't select the difficulty? So obviously, if I select the difficulty, it changes the output. But if I can just close the drop-down box by myself. So that's what the test plan is asking, if I can close it by myself without selecting a difficulty, which it does, so I can take it off. Does the save button display a pop-up with a prompt for the user to name the text before saving? So let's do happy actually, because I don't like being sad, we gotta be happy. So if I press the save button, there's the prompt. What would you like to title your save text? So the prompt does come up. I can take that off. Does it cancel if the user presses cancel? Or if I try to save it and just press cancel, and even if I start typing something and press cancel, nothing happens. So I can take this off. After entering a name and pressing OK, does it save the text as a record in a database? So if I save this, and let's call it, what should we call it? I am happy test. There we go, and press OK. The text was saved. If I go to my database and go to the saves table, this is the one we just saved today. I am happy, I am euphoric, and the title is I am happy test. So it saves it. It's all in the database. And on the saves page, it's here as well. I am happy test. There's the original modified, so it all works. I can take this off. Does the save button save the original modified text to the saves page? It does. I just showed you that. If the user attempts to save before modifying their text, does it display an error? So if I do I am happy again and try to save it, it tells me I must modify my text first. Yeah, so I can take this off. If the user attempts to save the text before inputting the text, so meaning I leave this empty and there's nothing there, and I press save, you must input text first. That works. Does the change background color button display different colors? Okay, so this is a button I didn't include. It's supposed to be a button where you press it and you can change the background of the input box and the output box. I just didn't include it. I'll talk about it later in my documentation. I'll write about it, but I didn't include that. This is also to do with the color. So, does the color change to the color they picked? Oh, no, because I don't have the button to do that. So I can't take this off, can't take this off. When a page is selected from the navigation bar at the top, does it change to the right page? Yeah, I can go to the sign up page, saves page, I can log out. Let me log back in now. So the navigation bar obviously works. I can take this. When the quit option is pressed on the navigation bar, does it quit? I'll just do this at the end when I actually quit the program, and I'll show you that then. Does the read out loud button for the original text read out what the text says? So if I do I am happy and read it out loud,
I am happy.
there you go, you read it out loud, it works. Does the read out loud button for the modified text read it out? If I modify this, let's do I am euphoric. If I press the button,
I am euphoric.
there you go, it read it out loud. Take this off. Does it display an error if the user tries to read out loud the original text without having inputted anything? So there's nothing there. You must input text first. That works. Now, when they try to read out loud the modified text but haven't modified anything, let's refresh this. There's nothing in there. Let's do I'm happy again. Let's try to read out loud the text there. I have to modify it first. So this works. Does the get difficulty button display the difficulty of the original text? So this is another button I didn't include. It was supposed to be a button where you press it and it works out the difficulty of your inputted text and display it there. I didn't include that. This is the same thing here, sort of. When the modify button is pressed, there's display difficulty for both of the texts. So when you modify, it's supposed to work out the difficulty of the original and the modified and display the difficulties there and there. I didn't include that, so I can't take that off. Is that where I left off? Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Does the download button display a pop-up asking the user to download the text? So this is the text I can download and the pop-up is there. So the pop-up does come up. Okay. Next, does it cancel the download if the user presses cancel? So if I try to download, I can press cancel, nothing happens. I can even type something and press cancel, nothing happens. I can take this off. After entering a name and pressing OK, does it save the user's text to a text file? So let's press download and let's call this testing. Testing download. If I press OK, the text was downloaded. If I check my files now, in here, this is all my stuff for the project. Testing download, just did it now. And it's a text file and you have the original text and the modified text. And it's all good, so that works. We can take that off. Does it display an error if they try to download the text without having inputted a text in the input box first? So if I leave this empty, try to download, tells me I must input a text first. So that works. Does it display an error if they try to download the text without having modified the text first? So if I type something in here, just do hello. Let's refresh it actually, and then type hello so that there's nothing in the output box. I try to download it, tells me I must modify my text first before downloading. So that's all good. Now we were left with this when the quit option is pressed on a navigation bar, does it quit the program? Press quit. There you go, program closed. So I can take this off. Now that's the whole text inversion page. Validation completed. That's the test run done. We're left with the sign up saves page, which is not that long. So yeah, thank you for watching.